Good morning, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Four Wolves Takes, where your boy, Artis Woods, will bring you four fresh Minnesota Timberwolves takes, even after a dramatic, ugly, disappointing, sloppy loss to the New York Knicks and Karl-Anthony Towns' return to Minneapolis. As always, it is an honor, a privilege, a flat-out blessing to bring in front of you all today to talk Minnesota Timberwolves basketball. Again, welcome back to Four Wolves Takes. Thank you for spending some time with your boy on this cold Saturday morning. Got a lot to get to today, man. Normally, what I like to do is I like to be positive. If y'all can't tell by now, I'm normally very optimistic. Now, earlier this season, I was a little fed up. So a lot of my episodes were that. Me speaking on frustration, speaking on what I'm seeing. I'm irritated. I'm frustrated. What is going on? Last episode was light because the Wolves were playing very well. Now, the last game before I recorded, they didn't play very well. But leading up to that, they were like 3-1 over the last 5 games, or 3-1, something along those lines. I like to take the whole week into account. You know, I'll give you guys an episode every week, right? So I take the whole week into account. I don't want to just react to one negative game. I give you all a summary of what happened and what I observed over that week. And if they had a positive week, they've won more games than they lost, it's going to be a positive episode. And if they lost more games than they won, it's probably going to be a bit of a downer episode. Recently, they won more games than they lost. But this most recent loss stings quite a bit. And maybe the biggest game of the year so far, for obvious reasons. They laid a complete egg, and I have to talk about it because there's a lot to get to as far as what we just witnessed against the New York Knicks. I labeled this episode an intervention session because that's what I believe the Wolves need. An intervention session or an accountability session, right? I got the definition up right here of an intervention session. An intervention session is a meeting where concerned people gather to discuss a plan to help someone who is struggling. Normally, it's a serious issue. Now, we don't want to make light of serious issues that people go through and they have these type of sessions. We don't. But in basketball terms, that's what it seemed like the Wolves need right now. We got players in the locker room saying, you know, we don't have an offensive identity. We know this player is going to do this and that's going to be that. You know, the coach is telling us to do one thing, we doing another. I just didn't bring it tonight. You know, guys on the floor look like they don't want to be there. They look sad. They look upset. We got coaches that, honestly, I'm a little disappointed in as far as rotations, as far as making sure that the team is up and ready for these type of games. I mean, there's a lot of blame and a lot of accountability that can go around. But I want to start at the top. And this, Tim Connelly is not the first person to do what I'm about to talk about. This is done all over sports. And it drives me crazy because we ignore the human element of things. My first take of the day is this. I understand it's a business, but I hate blindside trades. It's not a take. It's just a statement. It's how I feel. Yes, Artis Woods is on here talking about how he feels. Yes, I hate blindside trades, man. Especially when it comes down to you trading away star players. Again, it's a business. Players play, coaches coach, GMs, they GM, owners, they own, right? Everybody has a specific job to do. Everyone has an assignment, checklist, check your box and everything will be fine, at least on your end. We all know this. The NBA is not for the soft, it's not for the lighthearted. Like, we know it's a sport, it's fun, all of that is cool, but at the end of the day, it is a business. At the same time, we cannot ignore the human element of it, because the human element of it says you need chemistry to win. In most cases, not all, but in most cases, it helps to like your teammates. It helps to like your coach. It helps to like the organization. From a feelings and a human perspective, these things help. They help you re-sign players. They help you sign players. They help you build championship caliber teams, right? Those dynamics make a difference. So when you trade a star player like Karl Anthony Towns, and no one knows about it until the trade is done or until people break it on Twitter that everybody's texting the players' phones and, hey, man, I think you about to get traded. You can expect for that to at some point affect the locker room if it hasn't already. Karl Anthony Towns, star player, been here for a very long time, has played at a high level, could play at a higher level, of course, but has played, nevertheless, at a high level. One of the best Timberwolves to ever lace him up. You just trade him without telling him that he's getting traded or he's even in trade talks. Not only do you do that, your best player, Anthony Edwards, who has formed a pretty tight relationship with Karl Anthony Towns, you don't give a phone call to. You don't give a text to. And if you do, from my understanding, you couldn't reach him. I don't know the whole story. All I know is Anthony Edwards found out at the same time the rest of the world found out. And no matter how we phrase this, no matter how we look at this, the human element of this says that is not a move that made your superstar player happy whatsoever. Now, again, as I stated before, it's a business. And sometimes things have to be done. If you're a GM, you do your job. But it would behoove you to do everything you can to reach out to your star player to let them know what's going on. Before the trade is done, in my opinion. Wait till the man land. In my personal opinion. Hey, man, this is what we think about doing. You ain't necessarily got to ask for the input, but look, this is what we're getting ready to do. I just want to let you know ahead of time before you got to hear it from somewhere else. But when you don't do that, Anthony Edwards in the back of his mind is like, dang, man, y'all couldn't even let me know. I thought I was the franchise guy. Y'all could at least let me know what was going on. Right? And now, every game, you best believe he's watching Karl Anthony Towns. And while he's struggling to find that chemistry at times with Julius Randle, he looking over there. Man, that chemistry was great with Cat. We was just in the Western Conference Finals. Dang, I miss my dog. No shot at Julius Randle whatsoever. But he's a new teammate. You got to find that chemistry. You got to find that camaraderie. The same jokes you crack with Cat, Julius might not laugh at. He might just look at you like, all right, bro, this ain't really funny. The same chemistry and camaraderie and all of those things that you had with Cat, you don't have with Julius, and it takes time to develop that. Off the court, on the court. You got to figure out where Julius likes the ball, how Julius likes to play on offense and defense, what his tendencies are. Y'all got to figure out spacing so that when Anthony Edwards is driving left, Julius Randle is not right there. I mean, that stuff matters. You spent all offseason practicing with Karl Anthony Towns. Outside of the Olympic play, you spent the offseason getting the chemistry, making sure the chemistry was still right with him. And all of a sudden, this move is made right before the start of the season, right before the preseason. I was the one that said if he was going to trade Karl Anthony Towns, you trade him well before the draft, and you trade him for a playmaking guard because that's what you needed most. That was my positioning. When they drafted Rob Dillingham, I said, all right, maybe you don't need that. Maybe you want to keep all the pieces and get a young player and move from there. I thought that was it. Run it back with Rob Dillingham and Terrence Shannon Jr. and the other pieces that you picked up in the offseason, and boom, we straight. But then you make a trade like this and expect the locker room to not feel some type of way about it, especially seeing how he's playing and seeing how you got to play him pretty soon. Seeing how the team responded when it was time to go up against Karl Anthony Towns. Them boys laid down and folded. Laid down and folded, man. And after the game, Anthony Edwards upset about the loss for sure. But maybe not as upset as some would think he should be. Because deep down inside, man, it wasn't my decision to trade Cat. I'm happy he had a good game. I hope he go out there and ball. I hope he, in a way, and this is just Artis Woods talking. This is not Anthony Edwards, but in a way, I mean, he ain't make us look crazy. He made the organization look crazy because we didn't tell y'all to trade Cat. And y'all didn't even let us know y'all was trading Cat until you traded him. We didn't say do that. Anthony Edwards, I ain't tell you to do that. You just did it. And now we trying to pick up the pieces, figure it out. And clearly, we are struggling. The human element of things matter. We make these type of moves last minute and expect these players. Again, it is a business. But you just always expect these players to just, all right, the move was made, move on. This was done. Move on. I just lost my best friend to another team. Best friend, for lack of a better phrase. I don't know if they're actually best friends, but friend. I lost my friend to another team. I can't play with him no more. I just got to pick it up and move on. I just got to be the leader and just whatever. That's it. That ain't always how it works, especially early on. So I just want to throw that out there to start. Accountability session. Intervention session. Tim Connolly is in on this session. Everybody's getting talked to today. Everybody. Because I just think everybody needs a big kumbaya moment. Everybody come together. Everybody take accountability. Let's move forward and play good basketball. Take number 2 on the day. Somebody else that needs to be brought to the forefront. Nas Reed, where are you? 2 words, Nas Reed. Where are you? Nas Reed. Coming into this season, 6th man of the year. I thought Nas Reed was going to have the type of year, especially without Karl-Anthony Towns, that we talked about for a good amount of time. I thought this was his opportunity to step up and really stamp himself this year. Remember, I was the one who said, man, Nas, he's going to go from, 13 points a game. He might get up to 18, 19 points a game. He might get up to, maybe 7, 8 rebounds a game now. Maybe get a little bit more playing time. And, this is his opportunity to come out here and show out. Instead, Nas Reed recently, man, he has not looked like Nas Reed. I mean, you go all the way back to December 4th against the Clippers. 4 points, 1 of 4 from the field. Golden State the next game, 9 points, 4 of 10 from the field. Golden State the next game, again, back to back, right? 10 points, 3 of 8 from the field. The Laker game, 10 points, 3 of 10 from the field. The Spurs game, 3 points, 1 of 10 from the field. The game against the Knicks, 3 points, 1 of 7 from Nas. This is not Nas Reed. This is not the Nas Reed that we expected. Again, intervention session, accountability session, right? Anthony Edwards said we miss an offensive identity. Nas Reed can help with that if he plays better. Nas Reed making shots, attacking the basket. He has a great overall game. And I know this previous game, he got in foul trouble very early. I know this. 3 fouls quick. But man, he got to snap out of whatever slump this is, because they need him to score the basketball. They need him to at least be what he was last year, 6th man of the year. They need him to step up and be that guy in the absence of Karl-Anthony Towns. Now, he don't have to go out and average 30 a game. But, I mean, they need more from him. They need more from a lot of players. But they really need more from Nas Reed. I think he's also trying to figure out chemistry, right? I think that's playing a part in a lot of different places right now with the team, and a lot of different players are just trying to figure it out. But Nas, man, open looks sometimes, the foul trouble, gotta be better for this team to reach the heights that we believe they have the potential of reaching. He's got to play better. Coach Finch, please come to the front of the room. Again, accountability session. Intervention session. We just talking basketball. Again, I believe this is what the Wolves need, to get together as a unit and discuss what we could do as a team, because they have a major problem when it comes to basketball. You're lacking offensive identity. The defense has gotten better. Offensively, you're lacking that identity. You know who else can help with that? Coach Finch, holding people accountable. He does not deserve a pass right now. I understand you got new players. Julius Randle is a piece. And Dante DiVincenzo, he don't look like he won't be there half of the time. He kind of still not playing the greatest basketball. It just kind of looks out of it some nights. But man, I can give you a pass at times for rotations. I can give you a pass at times for trying stuff out. Right? One of the best phrases I've heard on Score North and other places, shout out to Kyle Tagi. I think he's one of the first people I've heard say this is pull that lever. There's different levers you pull and you just try things. I like that. But energy and effort can't. We have had too many conversations about energy and effort with this basketball team. Way too many. It's one thing to not have chemistry. It's one thing to not be on one accord out there. It's one thing to be a little frustrated, but for the energy and effort to be lacking like this in games, that's unacceptable. That part, that is just like, you don't have your guys ready to play. And if you talk to Anthony Edwards will tell you, hey man, Coach Finch is putting us in great positions. We're just not listening. Well, I partially put that on Coach Finch too. Because why are they not listening? Why are they not listening? And while they aren't listening, timeout. I just said, let's run this play, or I just said, let's do this. Let's do it. Running back out there. They do it. They don't listen again. All right. Who don't want to run the play? Come sit next to me. Let's get some players out here that want to run what I'm trying to get y'all to run. Let's get some players out here that want to have the energy I need them to have. To play with the discipline I need them to play with. I don't care who it is. If you ain't bringing it tonight, you don't need to be on the floor. And that is how you hold guys accountable, because everybody wants to play. Everybody wants to play. Nobody wants their spot to be taken. Nobody wants to miss minutes. And so it's, at some point, I'm about to dig into this rotation a bit more. Instead of going 8 deep, I might go 10 deep this game, because the energy and effort is not there, because guys are not listening. Guys are not holding defense. Guys are just not there. Oh, okay. Timeout. Come have a seat. And at a certain point in time, it gets to the point where you don't even have to have a conversation. You know why you coming out of the game. Come have a seat. Let's get somebody else out there. Let's get Minot out there. Let's get Dillingham, even though he didn't have a greatest game either against the Knicks. Let's get Dillingham out there. Whoever. Come have a seat. Let's get somebody else out here for a moment. And I'll put you in here when I think you're ready to do it the way I'm asking you to do it, because I know the way I'm asking you to do it works. Then I'll put you back out there. But if you end up doing the same stuff again, I'm going to pull you again. Like, I feel like more of that needs to happen. More of that needs to happen. I just feel like I understand players are going to be players, and I don't really have, again, I ain't been in the locker room all season, so I don't know what it really is like in there, but it just feels like it's just a lot of just a little dysfunction sometimes. It's up to him, the head of the team, to get this stuff in order. It's up to him. We don't have an offensive identity. Coach, it's time to figure that out. And we're not that, it's still early, but it ain't that early to the point where you don't have no type of offensive identity. And this is coming from your star player. It's saying something, right? So, Coach, when it comes to his rotations, when it comes to his use of timeouts, and the worst thing, when it comes to the energy and effort that his team displays at times, he's at fault for a lot of this stuff. Undeniably. He is at fault, and he cannot be glossed over. Now, before I get to my last second of the day, which is a positive take, because I don't want to give y'all all negativity, because I'm not that type of analyst. I'm not that type of guy. But Julius Randle, this is not on the screen for me today. Man, he shows spurts where he's great defensively. He shows spurts where he's just not there at all defensively. He misses a shot and doesn't get back on defense. Dante DiVincenzo, man, you in Minnesota now. And we love you as a piece here if you just play like yourself. It looks like he misses New York. But, man, you out here now, man. Like, he needs to be in the front of the room as well. Mike Conley. I don't even know what to say. Mike Conley, it might be time. It might be time. Like, there's a lot to go around. But everyone come together. Let's figure it out. And let's move forward. Positive take to end today's show. Like I said, I couldn't make it all negative. I do like what I've seen from Jalen McDaniels as of late. Now, just ignore the Knicks game. We're not talking about the Knicks game now. We're talking about, again, what happened up to the Knicks game. Jalen McDaniels, I believe, is setting a solid standard for himself. A standard that I believe he can maintain. A standard that we can get behind and say, listen, bro, if you continue to play at this level, we got a chance to make some real noise in this Western Conference. Jaden playing great defensively, hustling, nonstop, starting to make shots. Lakers game, 18 points, 7 of 11 from the field, 9 rebounds, hustling, getting boards. Spurs game, 12 points, didn't shoot the ball great from the field, 40%, but 12 boards. And again, it's the hustle, it's the energy, it's the defense. It ain't all about scoring. And it's not all about the box score, right? Him making plays, contesting shots, right? That don't always get recorded, but you see it. It's the eye test. You see the difference that he makes while he's on the floor. Not to mention, let me get this stat back up. I just had it. He's averaging 11 points, 5 rebounds, 2 steals a game on 49, 46, and 85 shooting splits right now in their last 6 wins. That's pretty solid basketball. He's shooting 44% from the 3 ball in December. That's pretty solid basketball. Now, I'm not saying he's going to shoot like this for the rest of the year, but what I am saying is from an energy and effort standpoint, from a defensive standpoint, for him being aggressive on offense, getting in the paint, getting rebounds, getting steals, this is the Jaden McDaniels that we got to see on a night in, night out basis. Everybody has a rough game, but more times than not, we want to see this version of Jaden McDaniels. The scoring will come. You get some fast break points, you get some backdoor cuts, you get some offensive putbacks, offensive rebounds and puts. That stuff is going to come. And 9 times out of 10, the more of those hustle plays you get, the more of a rhythm you'll get in on the offensive side of the ball. So again, the points, they will rack up and they will come. We have all seen them get hot. But the intangibles, the extra stuff, the dirty work is what I need to see from him on a night in and night out basis. If it's 2 guys I want to be able to count on right now to bring that on a night in, night out basis, it is Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who does it every night, and Jaden McDaniels. If those 2 players can give me that, I think the rest takes care of itself. Obviously, you want it from other players as well. You want Ant to get in the mix, of course. You want Rudy to get in the mix, of course, right? But those 2 players, if you can continue to play like that on the perimeter, hustle, rebound, defend, level, I think the ceiling is still high for this team. I think it's still high for this team. That is all I have for you all on today's episode of 4 Wolves Takes. Listen, man, everyone gather together. Now I'm inviting the Wolves fans, gather together. Accountability sessions, intervention sessions. I know it's hard, but it's going to be smooth. It's going to be all right. Everybody get together. Everybody in the room. Everything going to be fine. All right? We getting through this problem. We support the team. The team support themselves and each other. They're going to figure it out. They're going to get it together. They didn't look too bad leading up to that game, but that was an ugly one. Let's see how they respond tonight against the Golden State Warriors. That is all I have for y'all today on this week's episode of 4 Wolves Takes. I will catch you all next time on the next episode, again, of 4 Wolves Takes.